Right to be Read podcast, episode number 97. What to do after writing the book.
Hey authors, wish you could just write books and forget about all this marketing and coordinating with freelancers and formatting and proofreading and stuff? You're not alone. It's every artist's dream to just be able to create art while turning over the whole business and marketing side to someone who really loves and is really great at doing just that. If you're ready to start treating your writing like a business and get an experienced publishing and marketing team behind your words, pay a visit to Archangel Ink. Archangel Ink does absolutely everything needed to take a manuscript and turn it into a finished product ready to sell in all markets and multiple formats, from cover design to audiobook and everything in between. And as an Archangel Ink client, you'll be able to promote your book through Buck Books, the world's fastest growing book promotion website, at no extra charge. To find out more, go to www.archangelink.com. That's archangelink.com.
You are listening to the Right to Be Read podcast, and this is your host, Ani Alexander.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Right to Be Read podcast, the podcast that inspires and encourages writers. I'm your host, Ani Alexander, and as always, thank you very much for listening to the show. Today we have yet another short solo episode, and today I would like to talk about what one needs to do after he or she has completed writing the book. And the reason why I decided to cover this subject is because many writers think that writing a book is very hard and that once you finish your book, the rest is a piece of cake. And I have to disappoint you there, saying that that's not the case. And for example, personally for me, the writing process is much more enjoyable and much easier than everything else that needs to be done after that. And once you have completed your manuscript, there are so many things that you need to do after that it may even at some point seem overwhelming and confusing. So let's understand what you should do once you finish writing your book. What are the things that you will have to deal with? Well, first of all, what you have to do is you have to celebrate your biggest victory. You've accomplished a big thing. You have completed the book. So please feel proud of yourself. Tap yourself on the back and make sure that you acknowledge the fact that you have done something that many writers who have started writing the book have not done yet. So it's many start writing the book, but not all of them finish and actually complete writing that book. So if you have reached that stage, you are already way ahead of many others. And once you acknowledge your accomplishment and once you realize that that itself is already a big deal, you should take your manuscript and try to get feedback. It may be scary, but it's something you really need to do. Well, what happens usually is that many rush to their friends and family and ask for feedback from them. But I personally think that it's not a good thing. First of all, they are people who might not be able to be objective, and what you need is an objective feedback. Second, they may feel bad about hurting your feelings and may not provide any negative feedback. And the third thing is that they may not be your audience, and this is very important. For example, I write women's fiction. And it is logical that my husband is not the most suitable person to approach for feedback. So basically what I'm trying to say here is try to find readers who enjoy reading books similar to the one that you have written. The second thing that you need to do is to consider modifying your manuscript based on the feedback. And why do I say consider? I say consider because just because you have received feedback does not mean that you have to change the book based on absolutely all the points that were brought up. Try to objectively evaluate what you received and make those changes that will benefit your book and which are really objectively true. So just try to filter out, to objectively evaluate the feedback you have received and just, decide which changes are you going to incorporate and which you're going to ignore. The other thing that you need to do is self-edit the manuscript. And in fact, you need to do this in several rounds, most probably. And one should preferably be done before you send out the text for the feedback. And one definitely needs to be done once you make the final changes to the manuscript as well. And of course, it also needs to be proofread. And yes, you have to agree that there will always be typos and grammar mistakes which you have not caught by yourself. So you should take that as a fact. And ideally, you should get professional help with proofreading. But if you can't afford it, have at least 4 or 5 different people go through the manuscript, because they will always be things that just one person won't be able to catch. And that way you will minimize the remaining errors. So basically, the proofreading is like the minimum must you have to do. But what many authors also mention as the most important thing once you have finished your book is having it professionally edited. It definitely will make the experience of reading your book much better one, and it will also ensure that your book ensures good quality texts. So please make sure that your book is professionally edited, because that's very crucial to the end result and what quality your book will have at the end. Besides that, you also have to research your competitors. And ideally, you will have to do that before even starting writing the book. But if you haven't done that yet, make sure you do it now. Make some research. See which books in your genre are bestsellers now, and try to understand what are they about, what do readers like about them that you can find out by looking and reading the reviews of those books. How are they priced? What do their covers look like? And, so on. So make sure you have the picture of where are you getting into and how to make sure that your book is at least as good as the other books out there. And also try to know what differentiates your book from the others so you can capitalize on that. Also, the other thing you have to decide about is what platform you will be publishing on. And yes, I do realize that Amazon is still the obvious market leader, but it's not the only self-publishing platform out there. So you can also consider Barnes & Noble's, iBooks, Kobo, and etc. So you have to decide whether you would like to concentrate exclusively on Amazon through their Kindle Direct Publishing KDP Select program, or you want to embrace all the other possibilities as well. And based on that decision, your book needs to be formatted. And that is yet another boring thing that simply needs to be done. So you can, of course, outsource that, or you can do it even yourself, because you can get sample templates and just, it will take time and it will really be an annoying process. But if you can't outsource that, you can do it yourself too. So each platform will require its own format of the book, and you have to make sure that the book is formatted well so it's easy to the eye to read and the readers don't complain about getting a headache just because the text was terribly located on the screen and it was very difficult to scroll up and down and things like that. And the other thing that you really have to take into account is choosing the category. Choosing the right category and subcategory is very crucial, because it will help you with your book's rankings and visibility. That is why you will need to spend some time to choose the best category for your book, which will give the most optimized and effective result at the end. Also, of course, you have to think about how you're going to price your book and come up with your book pricing strategy. And the other thing that you have to do is to get reviews. And you have to make sure that by the time your book goes live, you have at least several reviews up. So send potential readers a free copy of your book in advance to make sure that they have read and reviewed it by the time the book will be published. Also, one of the most difficult things that I struggled with was coming up with the right title of the book. You have to have it ready for one of the most important parts of the whole thing, which is getting the book cover. And of course, obviously, the title will be on the cover, so you have to make sure you know the title in advance. And the book cover, as I said, it's one of the most important things because no matter whether you like it or not, readers will judge your book by its cover. And the cover is what will make people either click on your book or not. So it would be nice if you could spend some time imagining your cover concept, and even if you will not be the one creating it, you still need to provide the designer with a detailed brief. So make sure that you make time and dedicate some time and attention in thinking about how you want that cover to look. And the other thing is, once you already know how you want your cover to look, you need to find someone who will make one for you. And unless you are a professional designer, please don't make your cover yourself because it will look unprofessional and harm your book on the long run. So that's something I would not really recommend. And once all the above mentioned points are done, you will have to come up with your book blurb, or otherwise said, the book description. And writing a good book description is a challenge too. Basically, the description is your sales pitch, and it has to make people want to know about your book more. Therefore, after that, they want to buy it and read it. So basically, you have the challenge of just in a very short text, in just couple of 100 words, explaining what your book is about, why they should get it, leaving part of the most interesting things in the book out, but hinting that they are there so people would like to read it. So basically, writing the book description is more about copywriting rather than creative writing, and it's a completely different skill. So you might want to get help in there as well. Or if you're doing it yourself, you will need to dedicate some time to make sure that you've come up with your best possible text. And I guess once everything is done, you will be ready to basically go ahead and finally publish the book. As you can see, I did not cover the marketing side of the things, neither I spoke about the book launch strategies. What I covered in this episode were the obligatory things that absolutely need to be done with your manuscript in order to make sure that it becomes a book ready to be published. So please don't think that if you have finished writing your book, you're done, because that's not the case. As you already saw, there is a lot more to do than the writing itself. And meanwhile, before you get there, make sure you do complete writing that book you have started. So I'll meet you in the next episode. Take care and have fun. And thank you for listening.